Hello and welcome to Excel Highway. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a solopreneur CRM system I created for Google Sheets. I use it myself and I created a dummy version with some dummy data to share with you guys. So if you're a solopreneur or you own a small business and you're a one-stop shop, or sorry, a one-man show, then you probably need something like this. This file can help you manage your customers, what projects you're working on, if you have open tasks, and track your payments so you understand what's going on. So I built this. It's pretty simple, but I think it actually gives you a lot. I use mine every day to kind of track where I stand, and I hope you'll find value in this video. So if you want to learn how to do this, stick around. I'll walk you through all these steps. So the way it's set up, we have the active project. That's going to show us, that's sort of the summary. It's the main sheet that I look. It just shows you a breakdown of your projects, the payments, and if there's open tasks. The potential list is going to show you any customers that you may want to check in because you haven't worked with them for a long time. The clients is the client's database. The project is the project's database. The tasks are the tasks to build the project, and the payments are the payments to basically charge the customers. And settings, so far it's pretty simple sheet. It's only going to show open projects. All right, let's start from the beginning. Clients sheet. So the gray columns are the one that are formula based, and the blue ones are the one that you have to input information. So the way this is set up, you input your business name, the role of the person, their names, and then you can see the last project date and the total project amounts. Those are coming, as you can see, from the project. So simple max ifs to see the last start date or end date, and a total, which is a sum ifs on the project. Hopefully that's pretty straightforward. Then you have the email, and you have tags that you can use for future analysis, some notes, etc., etc. And of course, you can add as many columns as you want. Now, what I've added here using ChatGPT actually is a code to have a unique ID to all of the sheets. You're going to see client ID, project ID, task ID, and payment ID. It's just a good idea to make sure things are organized. So if I add my name, start inputting information, you're going to see it's going to generate a unique number, C for customer, the number which is the next one, and the information in column B. So now if I made a mistake, like I did, I can just delete this one and it will reappear. How this works, this is, so to speak, the most complicated part of here, but I didn't build it. I just took it from ChatGPT with some prompts. So go to app script. In the app script, I have this function basically. It's an on-edit function, so it works whenever you make a change. And I don't know what this code does to be specific, but I just know it works. So what it does, it will add a prefix, which is CP, pay, or T, and the number, and column B, and whatever there is here. So it works for me, and that's how you get that nice client ID number. All right, so we created the clients. Now the projects. For creating the projects, you first have to select the client ID. So you have the drop down, which hopefully that's clear. How to create data validation, and then just select a range without the last digit, so it's always the last row. So you can select the client, and again, just like before, once you create the client, you get this unique ID for the project, which is a running number plus the client ID. Why did I have this other column? Because if we just have that number, it won't mean anything to you. But hopefully the project will make sense to you. So that's how you just create it, and then you have more information. Amount paid, that's a sum ifs based on the No, it should be, what is it? Yeah, based on the project ID for this area where I have a project ID. So it's going to sum up the project, which makes a lot of sense. Amount open is the difference between the two. I have a start and end date, which are with data validation. When you add a data validation to a date, okay, you select is valid date or any of those. When you double click, it opens automatically a calendar, which is very, very cool. So use that. Okay, so then I have a couple of statuses like prospect active that I can use for filtering and the percentage of payment. This should actually be a formula. So that's just a simple what was paid divided by what's the open amount. And again, notes, and you can have a link to the folder if you want. So again, you can have as many columns as you want here. Just you decide. Okay, so I created a project, and as you can imagine, the same customer could have more than one project. So they differ in the ID number. So that was the projects. Now we want to create tasks. Okay, so to create a task, we have to select the project, and this is where the you'll see in a second how I actually use this. So let's say I have a project for peak logistics, or what did we take a look at? Nexa. All right, I'm going to select Nexa, and I have two projects. I don't remember which one. So I'm going to select that, and you see immediately these columns are updated. So it's going to show me the project status from here and what was done, or what was the definition. So what work done over here. So I will immediately know, oh, I didn't want this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the task ID and go next. I need this one. Delete that again, and then it will restructure the task ID. Okay, and then I can just describe add row, I don't know. And then you can, of course, have different statuses for that. Next, we go to payments. So task description, text, status is whatever you want, and you can have more columns here. I think the less is better in this case. Going to payments, very similar to tasks. Only difference is when you select the project ID, you only see project IDs that have open an amount. That's coming from here. Using filter, so filter projects for rows where column age is greater than 0. And that's why I only see only possible are the ones that are still open. And you can see that all the ones on top usually have a red arrow because they are no longer a valid selection, because once I have the input, then it's done. I'll show you. So I selected this project. I can see the amount. If I add here 3,500, automatically the amount paid is 0. It's out of the list, and it has this red icon. So I can add payment date and add a note, of course, and that keeps track of my payments. So we've covered all the 8 inputs here. It's pretty basic. I mean, it's very simple stuff, just some SUMIFs, VLOOKUPs, things like that. Now let's see how we build the potential list. So the potential list is also very simple. I'm looking for customers, all right, or the clients, and I'm filtering those columns B through H. I shifted it once, so it's A through G. For cases where column F is less than today minus B1, whatever number is here. All right, then I'm going to sort by the 5th column, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last project date. And true means ascending. Okay, so I'm going to have the latest customers here. So, and what's nice is I can see the total amount, their email, when was the last project, and then I can contact them or not. And of course, you can even take it up a notch and track like a customer discussion or you know, some sort of a log where you can say, okay, I contacted Hannah on the last week and no response, and I don't want to see her name in here. So you could add to that filter. You could add like the active, or you know, have like another column here that helps you just to filter. So that's the potential list. And of course, if I change this to 30 days, okay, it's going to change. Okay. Now let's look at the active projects, which is the main sheet that I use when I don't update anything. So that's going to filter certain columns in the projects, which is my main sheet. And you notice because I'm skipping columns B, D. So actually, this can be together. So I have here a few columns that I'm picking up. And then I'm going to check cases where this is not one. So go to L2. That would be the payment. So I only want to see lines where I haven't been paid yet. That is my perspective, but of course you can do other things, whatever you want. So this is going to show me just the ones that haven't been paid yet. And the last thing here I have is the open tasks. That's going to take information here from tasks based on the project ID. That's why it's so important to have keys, because then it's very easy to compare the data. So I'm going to take basically what's happening. I'm going to first filter. So I'm going to filter all the lines where the task isn't done. Okay. And the name of the project is the name here. That's going to generate, a few rows. But then I'm going to use text join, which is a great function. Text join will join text in the manner that you decide. So the first part is the delimiter, how you're going to join them. So I'm using char 10, which is basically a space. So I'm going to have a space, a line space, and enter space between them. True, that's going to ignore empty, and then the task itself. And then I have an if error because these rows don't have any tasks. So I just want them to be nice and clean. And that's why you see this item or this project has 3 tasks. You see it as one row for that specific project, which is nice. Okay, so that's it. That's my Solopreneur CRM system in Google Sheets. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you learned something. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, like, and leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.